People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
With an introduction like that, there's no introduction needed. First things first, people deluded, I'm back again. Now, tomorrow we'll be playing against Port Vale in the League Cup. We got to the semi-finals and lost to the eventual winners, much like in the Champions League. Everybody knows we need to win silverware. We need silverware. So, yeah, man, it'd be nice. Be nice to see some young players play. Be nice to see Miles Lewis-Skelly and those that haven't been afforded significant minutes at the moment get a start. Obviously, it'd be nice to win. We don't want to be like Man United and let the team we're playing have an upset. It is going to be more difficult than we believe, but let's just get some goals, go through to the next round. Hopefully, there's no injuries. By now, everybody's up to date with Madueke. It's come out that he's out for a few weeks. So, yeah, man, and first things first, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, in some cases, good night. You know, on this platform, we're a family. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know how your day's been going. I hope it's been great for you lot, man. My hay fever's been acting. Apart from that, it's been great. Been gym. Actually editing something around Gyökeres, people. So make sure your notification bells are on, and you know, because when it drops in it. So yeah, big up yourself. My striker won something at the Ballon d'Or. Where's that through a Tesco? I hear it. Big ups Gyökeres for winning. And I don't want to take his words out of context, but it was interesting when they asked him, and we'll get into it, his thoughts on like what makes a good striker. And I mean, for me, he talks like a striker. And it's what you want to hear, but probably many Arsenal fans will get 2 plus 2 will probably equal 10. Smash the likes if you haven't. Hyper, big up yourself. K, Enchanted. Good to have you back, Enchanted, man. You was here all the time. You went missing, but you're back. SLD's on me. And man said, man pushed the show back by an hour like I wouldn't notice. Criminal behavior. To be fair, I was always meant to go live at 5. I just happened to sign in and see that. I was only going live at 5 purely because, again, I can't see anything online in relation to Mikel Arteta's press conference, but surely that's been done or it's being done at this moment in time. As my boy Nathan has said, smash the like button and hit the sub button, road to 100k subs. And in fact, what we're going to do, man, because it's about time. I don't know how you lot feel, but I feel there's balance in life. I think there's a place for banter. I think there's a place for genuine football conversations. Unfortunately, I feel football debate, whether it's on the mainstream media or it's on YouTube, it's just a case of one-upmanship and slagging off each other's teams. And as I said, there's a place for that. But that's not the be-all and end-all. Like, you do that for 5 minutes. Let's talk about other stuff. So if anything, you have to protect your energy and you have to protect your own mental health. So again, we're creating a tribe here. We're creating a family here, people. We've got a family here, better yet. So if you're not subscribed, you can't take part. It's about time we gatekeep. Sometimes in life, gatekeep is lit. Arteta will celebrate Gyökeres' win by playing him as an inverted fullback next game. I hope that's not the case, man. Put the man up front, create some damn chances. And even that against Port Vale, I do think maybe Gyökeres gets minutes. I think Saka gets minutes. I don't know for the fitness on Odegaard, but you'd imagine that's some, an opportunity to put minutes in the legs, probably reliant on Marino, probably reliant on Declan Rice, if I'm honest. I know it's not the same, but at the end of the day, there's 3 games every 10 days, twice a week. And I know it's the League Cup, but if it was a Champions League game on the Tuesday and Wednesday, we'd probably go out there with a strong side. That being said, I know I'm not working for Arsenal. I don't know what's going on at London Coley, but in typical Arsenal fashion, with the injuries are starting to mount up. I don't know for Madueke's status around injuries in general, but I'm led to believe as a ignorant football fan where he's just signed for my club, you've never been one that's had a lot of injuries. Now you're sitting down for a month or 2. The same probably said about Norgard. So let's see exactly what's going on. I want to see a damn good squad. We have the depth, so use it. Facts, and more facts. Deluded, where are you at with come on, man, spell deluded, right? Where are you at with Arteta? And just a question, who do you think would be a good manager for Arsenal? The dream would be Luis Enrique, but I can't imagine he's leaving Paris Saint-Germain. Where I'm at with Mikel Arteta, think you're a good manager. Think there's a lot of positives. Think no man is without faults. There's a lot of fragilities. I think before you talk about, obviously, defeating Liverpool to a league title, or doing whatever, I think he needs to defeat himself. I think he needs to evolve. I think, come on now, we're 3 years removed from that season where he was scarred, and I understand it, but I, to a degree, need to do something else. I like everything we're doing. If I'm completely honest, I just think we need to improve in the final third. And the bottom line is, I think Arteta is a good coach. Are you a winning coach? Every year you don't deliver, the question gets bigger. And until you get over the line, for me, I believe everything should be on the table, if I'm honest with you. That being said, I said it and I maintain it. And I know many football fans and Arsenal fans specifically don't want to hear it, but again, I don't work for the club. I don't think if Mikel Arteta doesn't win a trophy, any of the 4 available, I don't think he gets sacked. As long as there's some context, as long as there's a bit of a race. But where I'm personally at with you, you need to get over the line because you've got us in the room now. We need to stay in that room or upgrade to VIP. Premier Leagues. We've never been as close to ending our 20-year drought. Then in these last 3 years, bordering on 4. Champions League, fair enough. You know, not too many times we got to the semi-finals, and I'm not here to gas up being in the semis, but we got there. And even when we lose, we're not getting embarrassed anymore. So we're competitive now. That was the project. Take us from where we was 8th to being competitive. The project is done. We're in the room now. It's about time to get over the line, and we haven't done that. But Kenny told me you work for the club. Kenny wouldn't tell you that, Rashid, and this is why people shouldn't do rumors, man. Leave that to the women, man. Respectfully, big up the galley, man. And galley, I'm a handsome face. I wouldn't mind it, He wouldn't say no to more money. How are you, Nems? I'm good, man. Appreciate you. Too much of something is poisonous, even with a solid defense. Arteta's over-reliance on caution can hamper our attacking flair. It's time to let go and embrace the offensive spirit. You said it there. Like, I don't want us to be gun-ho from minute 0 to 90. I think that's naive. We need to keep doing what we're doing. But there's times where the gloves have to come off, the handbrake has to go down, and you have to smell the temperature of the game, which I guess for me against City, it's more the 11 that went out there versus the changes. But we're kind of talking about the same old things in relation to the manager. And again, as we always say on this platform, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Next year, Arsenal will win men's best team and best coach. Congrats to this year's winners. I hear that. I just want us to win trophies, man. I think we're a damn good side, but we need to prove it to the world. What's your prediction for the lineup? In my opinion, it's Kepa, White, Mascara, Gabriel, MLS, Norgard, Marino, Wanyeri, and Dowman. Can actually share my screen. We're jumping ahead of stuff a bit, but if everybody's available, and I must admit, I don't know what you do, but I'd imagine, you know what? I don't even know if Hincapie is going to be fit and available, people. We don't know. He's had an injury. He's not been involved. I don't know if he'll play a part, but if assuming everybody's fit, I'd like to see that back 5. I'd love to see what our B team really looks like. Obviously, this is where Kepa makes his debut. I've gone Kepa, Lewis Skelly, Benjamin White, even White. Where are you at fitness-wise? Will we rely on Saliba and Mascara goes right back and we save Timber's legs a bit, depending on what's going on with White? But without talking about that stuff, for me, Kepa, Hincapie, Mascara, Miles Lewis Skelly, White, this is where it gets a bit techie because you might need to put Marino in midfield. To be fair with you, I would want to see if Odegaard's fit. Go play left-sided centre mid. Norgard, you make your start for the club. I want to see Wanyeri and Dowman. I've put a slash because I do think Saka's going to start and probably get 45 an hour. You know how Arteta goes. I want to see Wanyeri, of course. And Martinelli and Trossard, bro, you two play and you lot just rotate, man. One of you can be up front for a sec. One of you can be left wing. But then you could make a case of maybe Marino goes in midfield. Do I even think, does Dowman necessarily start? I would love to see him start, but would he necessarily start? Because as great as he is, and he's got significant teammates around him, and the conditions are great, he's still a young man playing against a League One, League Two side that's roaring for it with the greatest of respect to Port Vale. This is their cup final. This is the biggest game a couple of their players will probably play in their career and definitely this season. They're going to be up for it, which is why I want these young players exposed, especially Dowman. Go and see what it's like. You've shown you can do it in the Prem. You're going to make your debut in all comps, but go and see what it's like. Because for you, this might as well be Champions League. As talented as Dowman is, you're playing against seasoned vets. They're faster than you up there. They're stronger than you. You do a little skill bat against them. They're going to kick you. It's all a learning curve type of thing, man. But as Enchanted Len said here, I want to see a strong squad. We have the depth, so use it. Midfield, I don't know, man. I imagine, do you know what? If I'm completely honest with you, I do think you're going to see Rice. I don't think Dowman's going to start, even though I want him to. And you'd see in the watch-along graphic, I've got Dowman. You could make a case of, if I'm honest with you, that. And then that. Do you think you're more like, and even if Hincapie's not there, which I don't know with his fitness, but if we assume he's not there, then Gabriel's got to do the duties. You probably want to wrap Saliba and Cotton Wool. So that's, quote unquote, some level of an alternative, man. Yeah, man. Rashid's chatting. He's chatting, man. That's my guy. He's chatting, man. He's chatting with you lot. Don't take him seriously. Actually, well, happy for Dembele. Dealt with so much ish with injuries and critics. Shut them all up last night. Great stuff. Great stuff from him, because he's never forgotten the hood. They said he's got a bad attitude. He's got this. He's got that. He led his team to win the Champions League and he won the Ballon d'Or. And he's living the dream, innit? A man's won the champs, the World Cup, Ballon d'Or. What more is there to do, really and truly? You can risk playing Kakuri in this game. I don't know how you'd manage that because he's gone on loan, my boy. Hincapie injured, so I think it would be Gabriel. Dembele is a goal, man. Big him up for that. The over-reliance on our defensive structure dictates that we must win or lose by fine margins. I said this the other day. It's by choice. We don't have to play this cagey, but we choose to. Mikel Arteta, for me, I want to see him puff out chest because I don't think it's the wrong approach in general. I think it's the wrong approach because we're always doing this, if that makes sense. There's no reason, there's nothing wrong with being pragmatic at Anfield away or even City at home, but definitely with how, we've been scarred of in the last couple of years, and actually away from, people can laugh at us, we ain't won the title and whatnot, but we're there and abouts. We are one of the best teams in England and we're one of the better teams in Europe. We're not the best until you win these silverwares. So I do think we've earned that right, whether we're playing Liverpool or City. They've got things that they can harm us with. We've got things that they can harm us with. Even though we didn't like the 90-minute performance, Pep showed us a lot of respect. Slot the same, and us with those two need to puff out chest and go for it. It's like Mikel Arteta don't go into it on the offensive. I'm not saying all guns blazing or throwing all these punches, but I want to see that it's like he'll go there, be a bit conservative, get a feel for the game, and then you might see the City, what you saw against City. And make no mistake, it pained Mikel Arteta to make those two changes at halftime. Obviously, because it's now come to light that Madueke is injured, and I think statistically, Mikel Arteta has only made changes 3 times at halftime. So maybe he got a feel for the game. He felt City were respecting us. Maybe I got it wrong. Probably he did get it wrong because you never see him do that. We're used to the 65th, 70th, 80th minute subs. And this is what I just said at the beginning of this live stream, that he needs to defeat himself. You've got the tools. Certain players need to evolve. Every player needs to evolve at, the different talking points. You need to evolve. If you want to go from being a good coach to a winning coach, obviously the things you struggle at, make yourself good at them, innit? Arteta parks the bus and fridge. To be fair, City parked that bus, apologies, on Sunday. And they bottled the lead. I know the talking, and I'm more than happy to speak about the negatives around Arsenal, but the narrative around how courageous City were and Pep adapting and all of this kind of stuff versus when it's us is quite funny. And I always feel right is right and wrong is wrong. People will sit there and I think it sounds idiotic. They'll say, "Oh, Pep can do that because he's won stuff." Big up Pep, he's won stuff, but what sense does that make? Platforming Calafiori in this system is insanity. I disagree. Where my issue comes with Calafiori, and I know it's not as white and black. Calafiori was up there for touches in the box against City. Calafiori and Madueke are probably up there in the first 5 games for such statistics. Where's Gyökeres? And again, in previous years, you could probably forgive Arteta when you've got certain other players and all these things. But, bro, you've got Eze, you've got Gyökeres. And Gyökeres, there's plenty of talking points. As I said, videos soon drop about Gyökeres in particular. But if you've not found a place for Eze, it's not really what, and 3 goals in 5 games, but we know we're not really, generally, we're not creating chances. There's stuff around Gyökeres, whether you believe he's the best thing since sliced bread, he's 27. You're never going to see too much of a change. Accept him for what he is, which you lot knew because you bought him. But yeah, there's question marks around him, question marks around Eze and how he fits into the team. The broader scale of how we create, not just in the 5 games we've played this season, probably of what we saw in pre-season and last season. What's going on? It's down to you, Gaffer. Because you showed me you can coach attacking football many years ago. Now, I like the fact that we're solid defensively and all of that, but you've gone away from that. The beautiful thing about football, you could play Wenger ball or like Postecoglou where it's all attack. You could be like Conte and Jose where you're mad defensive. But no matter how much you want to attack, no matter how much you want to defend, there's literally direct parallels or you can't win a game of football. Jose can be as defensive as he wants. The beautiful thing about football, you need to score more than your opponent. So you still have to go forward, or find something around that. You still got to be able to defend. We can defend, we can't attack. And it's a bit humbling as a 30-year-old Arsenal fan because I have been there when we've had a decent defense. But during the Emirates era, boy, it's attack or die, innit? So it's a bit crazy if I'm honest. Why do we need Calafiori touches in the box? We have attackers all over the goddamn pitch, but Timber and Calafiori are the focus for final third actions. And Timber's actually up there for chances. We need our fullbacks to contribute, but I think your anger is misplaced, in which I agree with you. We need to take it back. My strikers needs a bunch of chances. My wingers need 1v1s. I need my late runners. We all know what we need in the final third. You're going to need your fullbacks. Fullbacks are probably the most underrated aspect of football in today's day and age. You look at, I promise you, if you watch Luis Enrique, you watch Arteta, you watch Pep, you actually watch Slot, you take it back to Klopp, boy, us fullbacks are developing, coming up in this world. This is Arteta's last time to win things this season for me. But is it for the club? Arteta needs to win stuff. The fans need it, the players need it, and you need it. Lamine Yamal is the best footballer, in my opinion. He should have won it. They're too focused on who won the most trophies instead of who's the best footballer. I mean, Ballon d'Or is a political argument. And for me, I agree. I think Yamal is the best player in the world, but nobody can tell me, Osman Dembele is not a worthy, deserving winner. He does deserve it. Like, yeah, he helped his team win stuff, but he's there. Didn't agree with where Rafinha scored, and actually broadly a lot of them, even PSG's Carrot Skeeler, I could be wrong, but you know how they do the ranking thing. I think he was in like the 20s or the 30s, and it's not making sense. I do think there's a bias depending on the club. I think there's a recency bias on if you win stuff. Clearly, there's a bit of a political agenda. I want to pick my words carefully, but I think there's something around clubs. And as I was saying, I want to pick my words carefully. But, you know, if Carrot Skeeler is Brazilian or Spanish or maybe even English, I think he's getting held in a lot higher regard, if that makes sense. I think all of these things play. We're Arsenal fans. We've seen Nedved and Cannavaro win the Ballon d'Or above Henry, so we're not taking that in. And to be fair, I think Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, not their fault, but indirectly, they ruined it. I mean, the Ballon d'Or, RIP Johan Cruyff, he said it's just a bunch of people voting for their friends. So it's always been that, right? But I do think in my time now, it's very extreme. Like, I genuinely feel, and I ain't got no skin in the game, I think there's some people that might think Ronaldo was more deserving this year, but I'm still going to vote for Messi and vice versa. It's just some political campaign, man. So, yeah, but Yamal will win that. Come on, man. The man's what, 16, 17? 17, 18, if that, he'll win that, man. He'll win that. And he actually gets higher and higher up the rankings. I think, is it the Cooper Trophy? I could be wrong, but he actually retained that as well. I think he's the first one to do that. So, yeah, Yamal will get that. They love French winners. It is run by French football, but Dembele deserved it. Rafinha was even better. I'm not going to lie. Was Rafinha better on the grand scheme of things than Ousmane Dembele? Boy, in the context of what actual player brings on the ball, I fail to see why Timber or Calafiori need that many touches in the final third. It's true, but at the end of the day, yeah, and you're not wrong. But thinking about it logically, in the box, I want to see my striker up there. So I'm with you with that. In the final third, so you got a left winger, you got striker, you got a 10 typically, you've got midfield runners. So let's just assume Zubimendi and Rice are contributing. The striker's they're gonna be the players with more touches. Arteta just listen, it's above my pay grade, but we all know that what we're good at, what we're bad at, what we need to improve at. Two things will separate if we get to the next level. That's Mikel Arteta's ability to evolve and adapt and probably be more proactive in an attacking sense, and game management. Like game management, when it's all said and done, obviously you started the game management can actually, the way you start a game. So that's one strike on Arteta's name. Fair enough. Second half, you brought on Eze, but we're not accustomed to that. You need to learn from people around you. Arne Slot, I wouldn't say he's over proactive and he's stubborn to his principles, but he knows when to change things. We've seen man hooked at halftime, seen man hooked in the first half, seen him, if it's not necessarily subs, just tweaking little things. And I think we're a bit predictable for the opposition. Now, we've earned that right, but we need to constantly evolve. I'm yet to see spanners in the works. And for me, I've been very critical on this. When everyone I was as well, when I was excited about Gyökeres and Eze and Saka coming back to full fitness and this player and that player, of course, I think we've got the talent. But I said it's not as white and black as you just plug in a new striker at left winger and all our issues are solved. Of course, there's been games where last season of them 14 draws, which scoring goals wasn't the only reason we draw. But yeah, you have a prolific hitman, we're scoring. You never saw us create to the level last season where you thought you get X, Y, Z and we're out of it. So we know what Arteta needs to improve. And honestly, it's a broken record. But as I was saying, we've been talking about this for 2 seasons. For me personally, actually the year that Jesus and everyone was scoring goals. But give or take, we've been talking about that for 2-3 years. Last season's finished now. Boom, that takes us into preseason. I don't know about anyone else, but I don't think preseason is a magical place. You go off for 2 weeks to a month, and all the things you struggled with last season, everything's just clicking. I don't think that. But again, probably only in the Bilbao game did I think, oh, maybe there's something we're working on. Haven't seen nothing in the Prem. Of course, we battered Leeds. Of course, we thumped up Nottingham Forest. Of course, I'm happy with the result, not necessarily the performance against Man United. Do I think Arteta was a bit of a pussycat against Liverpool and City? 1,000,000%. But creating, our striker is isolated. We're still trying to win the game on margins. And it's kind of what we're seeing already. We'll always compete. Possession will be even. We'll have shots on target and all these things. But you can't really recall too many clear-cut chances game in, game out. Now, obviously, I do like Eze. Well, I like Eze anyways. Eze's assist for Martinelli was superb. Give us it. And this is why teams don't give us space. They tried to sit back against us. She gave Eze space. He's picked out a lovely ball for an equally good finishing Martinelli. Nottingham Forest, they sat off Calafiori. What he found Eze being given space is an issue. We know we struggle against low blocks, which is why I didn't agree with the rhetoric of yeah, even if Gyökeres is a flat chat bully, is cool. Obviously, I think there's a lot we need to do to help all of our attackers in big games. And yes, there's logic with, yeah, Gyökeres, even if you don't score against the top 6 sides, if you dump up the smaller teams, which quote unquote is where Arsenal struggled, I hear it. Now, I know Liverpool showed us a bit of respect defensively. City, probably during Pep Guardiola's whole time there, showed us the most respect in the last game that we played, right? But so they had low blocks and obviously, or deep blocks, and obviously we found a way against City to get an equalizer, right? But if we struggle against low blocks anyways, and Gyökeres has been isolated anyways, how do we expect one man to change that? Because this is not even just a Gyökeres problem. That's a broader problem for Arsenal, for all attackers, really. You know, Saka's getting double teamed. You know, we're still having a bit of teething problems with Zubamendi and Rice. There's a lot of talking points around Odegaard. There's a lot of talking points around the left-hand side. There's a lot of talking points where there's fans like me that will say, okay, I don't mind the U-shaped patient football for the majority of the game because you can't be gun-ho. I don't mind being good from set pieces and defensively solid. But when the time comes to put that handbrake down, it feels like we're seeing the same thing week in, week out. So again, it's still square pegs in round holes, and it's different for you this year, Mikel Arteta. Even last year, it doesn't go because there's been, even looking at Bournemouth, respectfully, Semenyo, all at Cliver, player for player, are these players necessarily better than our attackers, either last season or this year? No, there's something the gaffer's doing that you're not. And I know, the way teams set up against Bournemouth versus us is very different. But we're talking about the same things. If he wins nothing this season, he should go. But the Cronkies don't care about fan pressure at all. They have stated Erling Haaland was robbed big time a couple of years ago. I feel sorry for Haaland because I think, well, you can't pick when you're born, but Haaland probably should have been a player in the late to mid 90s, definitely the early 2000s, because best number 9 on the planet for me at the aspect of just being a striker. He's a cerebral killer and he scored against us. But that whole, he's not aesthetically pleasing. And we live in a day and age where Haaland could score 100 goals. People will be like, but you ain't got 100 assists. As much as footballers are different and there should be fair questions, I do think there's a lack of there's like a blanket like a blanket statement on all footballers. I feel some footballers, you have to just judge them on what they are. If you're looking at Haaland to be the best false 9 general played on, he's not probably in the top 10 in the world. But he's not the first nor the last. No, Rafinha was better than Yamal. He dragged that team, but then boys deserved it. Hey, man, it ain't Arsenal. I ain't gonna fight you. Eze in the 10, he's feeding Gyökeres nicely, just like he did against Forest. To be fair, they've got a little good, decent relationship developing. And as we all see, Gyökeres does love to peel out to the left. You got faith in Mikel to coach, pass, and move football through sanctuaries. He's gonna need. It's nothing to do with faith anymore. That's what you need to do. Like, I'm partial to that. Show it to me, or I'm going to keep saying the same things. And if we keep doing the same things, we're not going to get to where we need to. It's all fun and games talking about this, and the gaffer coming out and saying timing's been the reason we haven't won silverware. We're at that point now. Rebuild's done. Seize the present. And it pains me that, forget this season, the last 3 years, you haven't brought nothing home, especially the Premier League. I feel sorry for the fans, and I feel sorry for the players. Arteta, you find yourself. DG Gyökeres, after them comments, is getting dropped next game. But to be fair, he could do with a night off against Port Vale. But no, Gyökeres, he probably wants to get a couple goals on his CV. We should win this game comfortably, but Newcastle will be the same old story. I pray that I'm wrong. Arteta is stubborn. I understand a conservative approach against Newcastle. And, Eddie Howe's a very good coach. They're a very well-coached side. When I think of Newcastle, I don't think of Isaac anymore. They've got players like, Alanga and Elanga and Gordon. If we make it an open game, we can get bun. But if we trust our defense, we should be able to do this thing. And for me, if I never had the frustrations that I think I do have after the Liverpool and City games, I might be a bit more conservative, at least for the initial period going to St. James's Park. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's attack from the jump. And I know I probably sound like a hypocrite, and apologies for my language, but let's attack from the jump. Eze in the 10. You lot know the 11 that we need to go out there with. Just show me something different. Give Enrique 50 mil per year that Arteta is earning and see if he will turn it down. To be fair, he's got a decision to make, man. Anyone can win at PSG with all that money. Can you win at Arsenal? Huh? Come on, Enrique. Lucky City was still playing a high line. They could have parked the bus. I think it was great proactive management from Pep, but ultimately, I think a draw is fair, innit? We shot ourselves in the foot and conceded. Clearly their team weren't defensively structured. You can't go back in time, but again, the Liverpool and City games, you don't want to have any regrets anyways, but you're going to have too many regrets. And I know you are, Tete. You have to have thought, what if I started, and again, I don't know all the factors, but what if I started Eze and Odegaard? What if the same way, if I met Slot at the same time, he was being a bit proactive? Because I do feel we could have got something at Anfield or made it a bit of a game, and City the same, or got something more from City. And yeah, there's a lot of football to be played at this moment in time. There's 33 games to play. What's that, about 99 points? But I'm looking at it as we're in this realm now. We ain't done what City have done. We ain't done what Liverpool have done. You're not where Slot is and where Pep's done, because their names are etched in history of their respective clubs in this league. But we're in that room. We can fight now. We're getting a bit of respect. And if all three of us are in a 3-horse race, obviously, you only get 3 points for a game, but them things there is kind of 6 points and 6 pointers, really. So, yeah, man, Liverpool are the ones laughing. 5 points clear. Obviously, they will drop points, but we'll also drop points. And then before I really give a flying monkeys about what Liverpool are doing or what City are doing, there's plenty we need to address and plenty of bedding in things. Now, fair enough, every club is not where their manager wants them to be, but I'm sure here we only care about this one. So, yeah. Anyway, outside of playing our title rivals away from home, we shouldn't really be seeing Rice and Zubi starting together. Either one should be in the base lone six and play Odegaard and Eze together. I think there's scope for both. I disagree, though. I think you do need Rice and Zubimendi. I do think there's teething problems. But then there's a broader question then. Obviously, all of these players have to take responsibility. Rice, you know you need to up it. You always start the season slow, become accustomed to that, bar your debut year. Zubimendi, you're adapting and all those things. Marino, I don't want to be too harsh on you, because end of the day, you shouldn't. I'm sure the manager's got his reasons, but like Eze's there now, he shouldn't be there. But if I'm and Odegaard, more so of anyone in that midfield, I don't really blame Arteta for Odegaard. Obviously, you know, we're talking about Gyökeres tracking back, the left winger tracking back, how Eze ties in, you know, even Odegaard's role. I think we're in this trap of talking about pressing and all of these things, and he's got a very important job in Arsenal system. So, but I still think Odegaard, like out of all the midfield options, Odegaard, you need to pattern up for yourself. Obviously, it sucks when you keep having a stop-start kind of early campaign. But then, and it's still on Arteta, what I'm about to say. But then, if I'm saying this about Rice, if I'm saying this about Marino, who, to be fair, watching the City game again, and I'm watching it a third time, now you can't see the tab, tried to play Gyökeres in a couple of times. But if I'm saying this about Marino, about Rice, about Zubimendi, about Odegaard, and what we said earlier with Gyökeres and Eze, bearing in mind, the defense is spot on. Midfield, I keep saying, is a bit clouded, right? Which we're on task now. And then up front, Gaffer, you got to sort it out. I'm not expecting it to gel within 5 games. But I must admit, I was looking for, like, if you plant a tree and you come back after a week or a month or whatever, you're not expecting it to be 7 foot tall, but you want to see some sprouts, some leaves. I haven't seen anything to cling on to that we're doing things differently. I'm sure we are. I'm sure there's people with more experience than me, and they're the ones training, and it might not be the right time and all that kind of jazz. But if nothing changed, nothing changed. We're not doing anything differently. So, boy, I don't know, man. Odegaard is an 8 and should be good enough to make up for Eze's lack of intensity in the press. We need to trust that our more technical players can do the hard yards and be aggressive. I think Eze's still adapting, but he can do that, man. Like, you can do that, bro. Like, bro, it's just a case of Eze listening to what the gaffer, where he wants you to stand, when to press, and running, bro. It's more of a case of the willingness to do that. He must have a willingness to do that, because he strikes me as a very humble lad. And evidently, you can't have signed for Arsenal and not thought that Eze, link up play, it's your former club, all that stuff. But there's no footballer can be signed for the football club and expect that you don't have to put in the hard yards defensively. If you do believe that, then your agent's not done his research, and you ain't done your research on what's been going on here in the last 3-4 years, including now. All points to the coach, because he's shown us he can coach an attacking team. It's on him. Either way, it's on him, bro. I saw Pedri and Frankie de Jong with zero physicality just play football. Trust me. Newcastle without Isaac is toothless. We should win. Boy, they got Walt made, they got Alanga, they got Gordon, they've got one of the best their midfield. Obviously, it's been together. Their midfield unit is working. There's more synergy in their midfield trio. We know damn well what we're gonna see with Joe Linton. Tonali, I think, is one of the most underrated footballers in world football now, if I'm honest with you. And we know what Bruno Gomes is. That's a player that should be lining up against Newcastle. You can't keep doing the blame game with the players. It's down to the person who manages them. The board have got rid of all the players Arteta didn't want. It's now down to him. Get the likes up to the level of viewers. Come on, man. This is why we're the most underrated platform, man. Smash the like button, and appreciative to you lot who have. Footy Daily, one love. I keep saying it should not be Rice and Zubimendi. It should be Rice or Zubimendi in midfield. It should be Eze, Odegaard, either with Rice or Zubi. I promise you, if you drop Zubimendi, you miss him. But I do agree. This is what I mean about mix and blend and flexing. I think there's scope for Rice and Zubimendi and Odegaard. Likewise, we all want to see one of, to be fair, games where we're playing a low block here, probably at the Emirates. Zubimendi in that 6. Ranieri, Odegaard, Eze, just get them all in the team, even if one's got to be out wide, man. Like, mix and blend, man. Arteta, you've got different. Fair enough. When you signed for Arsenal, we only had money for rice and beans. You're eating the same meal. It's like you've gone to the shop now. You've got more ingredients than you could pick. Man can make Mexican food, Jamaican food, Algerian food, African food, Asian food, and you're still eating beans on toast. It's down to you. The tools are there, man. Rice doesn't offer enough off-the-ball movement to receive the pass between the lines. Odegaard and Eze do. Let's focus on playing the ball sideways and back to Saliba with what happens, in my opinion. Us not securing silverware can't be all down to one man. Some of you don't have any sense. I hear you, but this is the nature of the business. Of course, if we go play a final and someone makes a mistake, it's not Arteta's fault, really. Like, so Saliba loses the ball. Unfortunately, this is the level of the game now. The squad's there. Bert has done his job. We've been flirting. It's like being the owner of a business. The best, like everything good and bad now. And obviously, Jay, you're smart enough to know there's people going to do agendas. It's your fault, bro. Like everything good and bad is now your fault. You've got everything. You look in our squad. Plenty of players will sell. There's not a bad player there anymore. There's not. We're not looking and, oh, Cedric's still here. Tavares, like it's down to you. It has to be all down to you. In the same way, in the same vein that you're not the only reason we're great. Like Arteta didn't do it all. That's why you got coaching staff and whatnot. You didn't get us here by yourself, but you get the plaudits. We're at that stage now. We're in the rave. We've bought a juice. We've got a double rare left. Jones are looking at us. They're waving. Are you going to go and say hello? She's giving you the eyes. Are you going to say hello? Are we in the club or are we trying to, yeah, we're trying to do this? Is either Rice or Zubimendi good enough to play in a single pivot? I'd rather Zubi. Backs against the wall stuff, I think I'd rather Rice. Rice, Gabriel, Timber, Saliba, Calafiori. How much more defensive-minded man do we need on the pitch? Where's the balance? We need Eze to start. That's what I'm saying. But we're fielding battle axes in midfield. I look like Everton in midfield. This is not Arsenal. I must admit, the one guy I don't want to see in midfield, and I get it. We can do it on occasion, maybe against Port Vale. I actually don't think Marino should have played, should have started, but I don't think he was that bad. But I'm not trying to see that. I prefer it on the right in the Odegaard role, like against City rather than on the left. But I'm not trying to see that on a consistent basis, man. It sounds mad, but I'd rather Zubimendi. I'd rather Zubimendi play. Say, yeah, I'd rather Marino play up front. Trying to read two things at once. Man out here saying no Rice and Zubi in midfield, poor ball knowledge. Hey. Everyone's got a difference of opinions. There's no evidence to prove that Rice and Zubi playing together adds to our midfield in possession. Are you sure? We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna come back to that. Screenshot that and remind me in a few weeks. If you played football and a man that can take accountability, you know it's not just on the manager. Must be enough use, and it's not just on the manager, but fundamentally it's gonna fall on your head. Like there's no way around that now. Like it is on you, Mikel Arteta. I'm not saying to scapegoat him, pitchforks, but it is on you now because the players are good. If Arsenal was liquidated tomorrow, bro, none of these players are going to struggle to get clubs. Bert has done his job. Arteta, you've made it. You're ultimately being held accountable to your standards. You've got us back in this. Unfortunately, Jay, it is with the gaffer now. Of course, there could be many reasons, injuries, this and that, refs, and this one happened. But no, you can't look at the Cronkies. You can't look at Berta. These players have, at the very minimum, been very consistent and finished second and showed progression in the cups. It's on you, Gaffer. And I believe in you. I actually think you're a good manager. The difference with me and a lot of other Arsenal fans is it's not Arteta to the world and back. Obviously, as long as you're the Gaffer, everyone gets fair criticism. Everyone gets a right to a fair trial. But it's not just you to the be all and end all. And at some point, if we're going to have to ask if we're happy to just be competitive or we want to take a risk and get over the line. And at some point, we've seen different players, different executives, even now Tim Lewis is cut. At some point, there's going to have to be conversations about the manager. So let's just hope we can get over the line. There has to. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, if I'm completely honest. So we'll have to see how all of this develops, people. What's this? Unfortunately, you would have seen Noni Madueke becomes the latest name on Arsenal's injury list. They've already had as many as 8 first-team squad members miss games this season, which is jarring, especially as we're getting into this October to the end of the year period. But this is why we've got depth. It's annoying. All of the injuries are annoying, but it's annoying. Madueke's one peed me off because just when Saka's just come back, now it's okay. Madueke, you might be able to start games and ease the burden on Saka. You can rotate, we can mix and blend. You know, Saka might be on the bench in terms of coming back from the injuries, he might be on the bench one week, come and nick the game for us or change it. None of the same. Unfortunately, that's not a thing. I hope Dalman and Wanyeri can get some minutes. But yeah, Saliba's missed 8 games. Ben White's missed 2. Saka's missed 3, which is mad. Norgard's missed 4. Norgard and Madueke in particular, you don't ever picked up injuries at your former clubs, but Norgard's missed 4. Jesus is obviously still out, as is Kai Havertz, although Arteta in his last press conference, not today, said they're making good progress. Odegaard, I'd imagine if a journalist is doing their job, they would have asked him about him today. And it sucks for Madueke, man. It sucks. I'm not going to lie. It sucks, man. The only criticism I could say with Madueke is, now, broski, can you get us goals and assists? I still think listen, I'm not a scout. I still think that money could have went elsewhere, but I don't care about the 50 million now. And I think you looked a bit positive and, you know, you've come a long way in a short period of time from petition. So it sucks that it stopped start now and you got to start that building up fitness thing. And you know what? It's mad, but these guys will be like new signings. Wenger never lied. Claire loves Elise. Hi. Training methods are not good. Too many players get knocked. Norgard joined, got injured. What are you doing in training? Yeah, man. Madueke, if you could get me some goals and assists, you're all right. And another thing for Madueke, the only time you've peed me off on a football pitch was against Bilbao. I'm sure you hit the post where you know how left footers, they never want to use their right peg. He's used the outside of his left peg and hit the post. You can just use your right, man. But yeah, is what it is. Arteta takes maturity of the blame, defo, but also be down to the team who actually plays on the pitch, which is true. But at the end of the day, Jay, is it easy? Like, you know how football works. You know how football. You can't just blame them. You can't just blame just one singular pillar. You're right, but at some point, it's gonna have to be. Well, this play. You know, we've brought in some good players. We've got some good players. You've developed them. You've got us in this conversation. You can leave with your head held high if you don't win us something, but you haven't won us something. And it's easier. Fair enough. He's on 15 mil. We know the nature of football. It's easier. It's the manager that's gonna get sacked. Are you gonna sack one man or are you gonna flog off the whole team? For me now, it's just about seizing the present. When it's all said and done, and we all know there's different reasons as to why we didn't achieve stuff and the many talking points in the long 3 years, it's not that I'm disregarding that. It's just that's the bottom line, bro. Like, the last 3 years, we have not seized it. We should have one Premier League title, whether that's the players, the gaffer, the cronkies, whatever. We should have at least one. I'm dreaming, but there's a world where you win 3 on the trot, or 2 of the 3, or 1 and some domestic cups. But that's where we're at now. We're dreaming about things that never happen. I do think Arsenal fans suffer from ideal scenario situations, like, oh my God, take away that great free kick from Szoboszlai and the goal never, and it's a draw, or the mistake against City. That it happened though. It happened. Like, it genuinely happened. And again, I agree with that. There are some positive, you know, we can hang in that realm. But it's also, I'm not saying, Jay's not even saying this, but I think it's lazy because what did we know the evident issues. Not every time where we've got negatives, we're effing and shouting. I know that's contrary to popular belief on definitely YouTube, but boy, because I don't really want to have these conversations anymore, you know. At least say a baller, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss streams or uploads. If Saka wants Arteta gone, he's gone. I think he's the one player that has that kind of power, but I don't expect him to ever do something like that. The players are still behind him, therefore. If I ever get the inkling, whether I like Arteta or you like Arteta, if I ever get the inkling, like, I'm exaggerating, but let's say tomorrow, Port Vale, if it looks like players have down tools, Gaffer, you got to go today. You have to, because that is where stuff gets scary. They, rightly or wrongly, still behind him, still buying into things. Gaffer and players, make sure that they're starting to celebrate in May 2026, man. It's long. Big up yourself, Terrell. In Arteta's defense, if we lost and he didn't play Marino after scoring a hat-trick for Spain, he'd be criticized for that. Nah, gee, that one day is not gonna fly, bro. I can't lie to you, gee. Like, good thing you're not his lawyer. He's going to jail. Like, if he pled guilty, he's probably getting 5 years. You just got him a life sentence. Nah, my guy. Nah, nah. I think Arsenal fans are more on your game management, your subs, Eze, creating some chances for Gyökeres. Nobody, maybe, you could, because I did feel Mourinho would have been on the bench against City to a degree. If he was going to be on the bench, come on for Gyökeres. Nah, gee, I don't think that one day is going to fly, my boy. So yeah, man. A manager sets up the type of football you play. In the final third, there's a million scenarios that could happen that managers have no effect over. Anyways, we'll win silverware this season, so no worries. I hope so, but that's a cop-out, my boy. I can't lie to you. That's a cop-out. Come on. So again, is Arteta, like you said, there's a million scenarios that can happen. Why are we not, for an overthinker like Mikel Arteta, which is a strength of his, why is there no scenarios where we're creating more chances? So you genuinely feel that it's not on the gaffer in the final third? You got to be cruel to be kind, man. Big up Kizzy, man. You've been missing. Big up yourself, though, man. You can love Mikel Arteta. Listen, on this platform, you could be the biggest Mikel Arteta out. You could be the biggest Mikel Arteta in. As long as for me, so I know what you're saying, you're able to convey your opinion, because I just like to hear intelligent opinions, whether I agree with them or not. That is fine by me. And nobody's wrong or right until we see what's going on. I'm not really, like, for me, with this whole Arteta in or out, I've said why I think it's redundant, because I don't think he's getting sacked. You'd have to sell it to me, because it's not that I just want a man to stay forever or I don't want to sack him, but there needs to be a pattern. Because for me, the next manager that comes in, I'm very harsh on you, Arteta. I'm going to be equally as harsh, because I think it's over the line time. I don't think we need another summer where we need 8 man. We might go for another striker, might need a left winger, you never know what we might say when the season develops. Pardon me. I did like this time. Sometimes I forget. Claire, get in the habit of liking. Just everybody just imagine unexpected high bills if you don't smash the like button. Unleash Wanyeri and MLS for real, man. FA Cup or League Cup isn't worth this type of time and investment put into this squad. It will still be a very poor season, even with those. It'll be underwhelming, but you do need to win silverware. You need to grab some silverware, just so there'll still be Mikel Arteta out in that, but you need to grab some silverware, just so at the very least people can say, you know what, you struggled to get over the line. Yeah, there's been X amount of years since you've won, but you've got over the line in this. You might have bought yourself a 6 months or a year. Admittedly, though, the only way to shut a lot of people up is the Prem and the champs. And even if he goes and does that, unfortunately, goalposts always move. This is happening before Arteta. It will happen after Mikel Arteta. Oh, for all the money you spent. Oh, you only done it once. It's the same with Wenger. Oh, you done this and you done that, and Alex Ferguson, you cheated, and Pep, you spent money, and Jose mad defensive, and the Invincibles had 12 draws, even where and that's where we're at. People, do you know how stupid it is? Oh, but the Invincibles had 12 draws. They can't be that good. We underwhelmed in Europe in the Invincibles, but you can say what you want. I see 0 else. I see Invincible. That's where I need us to be. You can say what you want about my team. I don't really care if we're mad defensive or mad attacking. I'm just at the point of getting over the line. But what I'm not going to do is lie to you, look. There's always something. That's why, bro, just win something. Yeah, chat off your mouth. 2026, Arsenal, XYZ, we won. Yeah, you lot talk. I'm going to the bottom line. We'll be in Islington, and I'll be like, you lot, lads and ladesses, do you lot want any drinks? Okay, can I have X amount of shots? That's what we're on. Said it earlier, the Cronkies have said they do not care about fan pressure. They'll do what they think is best. We've seen it several times, man. You've seen it several times when it was a harsher period. Arsenal have shown that. Whether it's, all of the things. Remember how the talking points, I'll actually never forget Brentford away. I'll never forget Brentford away. The first year they came back, they came into the Premier League because we got blitzed and we got overran, but because of Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher. Arteta has survived, or Arsenal's regime, or the talking points around Arsenal, they've survived when it was a lot more dark, I'm not saying I'm happy with this, but this seems like privileged problems. We're crying about not winning a league. Like, remember when we was talking, people were talking about power shifts with them not down the road, and big up Leicester, but boy, that is like milk, mate. Absolute milk. Arteta has to stay regardless. He has proven too much, and he is right. If Arteta didn't play Mourinho, he'd be asked about it. So I get why Arteta played Mourinho. No, he would not have been asked about that. And to be honest with you, with this squad, whenever you don't win, like the nature of the business, it's going to be extended to all of these managers. Every player that doesn't play and you don't get a result, oh, could you have used this? Could you have used that? I don't believe that. And I don't think Arteta should just stay regardless. I understand it, because I'm not just on sacking someone without a proper pattern. There's no point sitting there and telling me, go get Jose, go get this. That's not going to bang. If you can find me an emerging manager that you show me everything he's about, and I like what he's doing, because remember, one thing I don't like about talking negatively about this gaffer is people sit there and say, "Who would you get?" I don't know. It could get better. It could get worse. Sometimes in life, you have to take a you have to take a chance, and then there's going to be a point where we know we're doing the same things and what the same thing breeds. In the pursuit of something else, we have to try, and if it doesn't work, try something else. So what if Gyökeres don't bang? We're not going to sign another striker. What's going on? And remember, we got Mikel Arteta when he had no experience as well, so that kind of makes it redundant. But for me, I would want Luis Enrique. I would want Xabi Alonso. I would, and then away from all of that, I would want, like, you'd have to sell it to me. Even if it, like, cool, let's assume, all right, I'm Arteta out now. You need to go. I've seen enough. You need to show me what we're working with. There's no point saying Conte and this and he's a proven winner and that. You know that's not happening. So you have to sell the pattern. I don't believe in anybody staying regardless. This is a privileged football club. Arteta knows it. It's Arsenal FC. And Arteta, you're ultimately going to die by the standards you set. You've done bloody well for this football club. And I think there's too much disingenuous chat about this manager. People move like this guy walks on water and he can do no wrong. And there's no one else that could ever do this. Equally, I think you could, even if you want Arteta gone, you cannot look yourself in the face. I'm sorry, but if you think he's a shit manager, you don't understand football. If you're entitled to think he's not good enough, he's not a winner, them kind of talking points there. You cannot tell me the man's not a good gaffer. He will not struggle to get a job. But it's down to you. You need to defeat yourself, Arteta. You're a good coach. For me, it's, are you a winning coach now? Because we've got all the statistics. It's all fun and games. Having great defense and all of these, not losing in a calendar year, and even against City, you know, from a tactical point of view, limiting them in terms of possession, that's great. But in that game, I didn't have nothing to show for it. I never had 3 points. The last 3 years, and I hope fourth time lucky now, never had nothing to show for it. You don't need to go down in history. More so the players. Arsenal fans, come on. When was the collective bunch of players in these last 3-4 years, give or take, and even now, because we did a madness in the summer, when have we had a collective squad like this? Some of these players are the best individuals of the Emirates era. They get into an Emirates 11, emphasis on some. As a collective squad, they are the best. But they're not in history. And I want these men to be remembered in 10, 20 years. And there is genuinely something with getting over the line. Prove it to yourself. Do it for yourselves. I know you got to do it for the fans and whatnot, but do it for yourselves. Gaffer and the players, it can't be nice. Fair enough, the first year, didn't expect it, but it ended collapsed after being top of the tree for like 200 days or something. The following year, last day of the season, you're flirting with the Premier League trophy to the point where you lot coming in for the game, you probably saw it at the Emirates. Last season, a mess. Yeah, we finished second, mess. It can't be nice. And that's before you factor in how it must feel immediately in the dressing room when you've gone out against Newcastle in the Cup, when you've gone out against PSG after the Real Madrid stuff. We need something more beyond good nights now and good them kind of things there. DJ, I think you said it. If we're still talking about the same things after 10 games, then we'll ask serious questions, which I agree. He needs to figure out the recipes in the next few games. DJ, I've been saying it all year. Every day, I'll never lie to you lot. Like, I might not always be right, but I'll always say how I feel and mean what I say. I'll always comment on what I believe. But again, I'm going to be very harsh because I haven't seen it. And I know you can do it, but you're choosing not to for whatever reason. So I can only, listen, I ain't got my UEFA badges. I don't get 15 mil a year. I haven't taken Arsenal back to where they need to. And that's even that. Clearly, I've been very fair in what I've said to the gaffer. But then, if I remove emotion, what have you done that I haven't seen as a 30-year-old man at Arsenal Football Club? Good defense, seen that. Scoring goals, seen that. Maybe not so much of an emphasis on set pieces, but I've seen Arsenal scores from set pieces. I've seen Arsenal get to a semi-final before. I've seen Arsenal win an FA Cup. Show me something. Because the last 3 years has been some of the best times of the Emirates era domestically. 10 years from now, history won't show that. History is only written by the victors, you know. So go and write that. Football career is short. And for me, what I don't want at this football club is Arteta learns everything, F's off one day, someone else gets the fruits of the labor. I'm only interested in what you do at this football club. DJ, I can't lie, Arteta's on some funny thing. I need to see P45s. If we don't collect silverware this year, this brother is concussed. Damn. No one wants Mourinho to start. They sacked winning managers in their franchise before, though. Think Arteta goes if he doesn't bring home something this season. Yeah, but he seems to have a good relationship with the Cronkies. And to be honest with you, if Mikel Arteta is going to get sacked, surely, I'm not saying you need to open official communication channels, but if you're Cronkies or Berta, you need to have a list of who you would be looking at and field in some indirect calls. If that really is the case, if he doesn't win something in May, from now, or even in the summer, you need to know, raw, like we're gonna try for Cess, we're gonna do Enrique, Xabi Alonso, Ariola, random Joe Blogs, who knows? There must be another member of Pep Guardiola's coaching staff. Big up Maresca, Chelsea got the shit one, innit? Every time we drop points, the manager's position is questioned. There are fans out there hoping for Arteta to fail. I feel there's very little middle ground. I think there's fans that want Arteta to succeed regardless of anything at any cost, and which I agree with that in principle, because Arsenal would obviously benefit, but it's to the detriment of what could one day be better for this club. And likewise, there's just some that are slating off the done. Like, I don't think the extreme positive, toxic stuff and the extreme negative, I don't think either party is right. I think there's elements of truth between both, which is why I like to have these kind of people on my platform and look at their content, because you might learn something. I'm not a fan of football being an echo chamber. You have like on a panel show, 5 man that everyone's Arteta out, he's all effing shit. You just bare confirmation bias. Or you've got dons that are bare positive, toxic, bare confirmation bias, which I actually like is putting them together. Shout out Dan Potts, he does a good job at that. I don't know anything about the boardroom politics. I just know what you will talk about. I know Elise was robbed last night. Elise, of what? Big up Elise, but of what? Ballon d'Or. 100% he took a chance on Arteta and he got us to this level. Rice and Marino can't play together, simple as. I'd rather see Marino and Zubi in the pivot behind the proper 10 than see that idiot in the 10. To be fair with you, I know they got the Spanish thing, but we're not the Spanish national team. Zubamendi and Marino's probably a better partnership, but I'd rather Rice nothing. Rice or Zubamendi. I don't really want to see Marino in the midfield pivot again, if I'm honest. Appreciate the super sticker. Why is it called super sticker and not super chat? Nonetheless, Claire, appreciate you for that one, man. Big up yourself. Thanks for the £2. Arteta is an elite coach with questionable decision making. Elite coach, very good. For me, for you to cross into elite, man, need to see elite things, bro. Man, have to rise up. I've seen elite statistics, but man, need to rise up Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, and I know there's tiers, or every elite manager could be in the room, but there's different tiers. But elite to me is Jose. That's Pep, that's Wenger, that's Klopp, that's, you get where I'm going. You can't be elite. Like, you not show me nothing elite like that. You win some shit, you're there, man. He's not an ish manager for me. He don't know how to flex his muscles. It's like a bad boy talking like he's on stuff, gets 2 thumps in the face, and a man saying I'm not on it. It's true. Arteta, just puff out your chest a bit, man. I'm sure you got your thingy, seeing league titles. I'm sure you got your reasons, but broski, come on. And I can't blame fans for still persisting. I can understand like the reluctance to let go. And I could also see fans that have said, you know what, I'm done. And I could also understand fans, because there's some fans that have believed in Arteta from the jump and their support has been diminished. They've diminished their support. And there's probably some that were very critical, but they said, like the Balance fans that said, you know what, fair enough, you're doing your thing. You've proven me wrong. I just feel you might be the guy before the guy, which is why I said at the start, for me, everything's until you get over the line, I'm on anything. If you show me a proper kind of like project, like you're gonna go and get Joe Blogs, he can do what Arteta does, but he's on attacking, but there's a decision to make. I'll be real. If Luis Enrique genuinely said he wanted to join Arsenal tomorrow, sorry, Gaffer, you've got to go. It's in the same way I love Bukayo Saka, but if there was a player that's twice the ability of Bukayo Saka that wanted to sign for our club and he wants to play right wing, it is what it is. No one's bigger than the club. Fuck everybody's feelings. Let's get to where we need to get to. We have to chase that illusion of greatness. I got my UEFA badge. Would love to manage Arsenal for 1 week and show them some ideas. Send the application in, man. You never know, my boy. He don't have a good relationship with the Cronkies. He has no clue of background changes. All his yes men are gone. Social joys, that's naive. You really think Mick? I know he says he plays a bit dumb in the press conferences. You really think he don't know about the changes? Really? 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 Yeah, we're not getting Enrique. I just think that would be the perfect fit, man. But a man can dream. Kelly Rowland, shout me on the topic of dreaming. This is a high-pressure season for the club and the fans. Every game feels like a final. But everybody knew. That's what, big up KJ as well. Everybody knew what we're stepping into. You knew it was knife edge. Look how mad everyone went during preseason, especially to Spurs. You know, every game we win, we're winning everything. We're lit. Every game we lose, Arteta out, Kroenke out, this player shit, that player shit. Hyper opinions on players. 1 week, this one's a superstar, now he's crap. Bro, that's football and human nature, which is why I always say, guard your mental health, people. As much as you can, disregard the noise and just have your own opinions. I don't want to see him either. but we see it against Forest and we 5-0. So maybe putting him next to his brethren is what Arteta needs to do. I think we just need to box smart. Them kind of games are the games for Marino. We're going to have a bunch of possession. They're shook. Yeah, man. It's cool, Claire. Man, your support's well enough, man. Thank you. Zubamendi and Marino makes sense. If you have Pedro, who's the glue, we should try Zubamendi, Marino, and Eze, see what works. I think it's, for me with Marino, I just don't think you're good enough in the middle of the park for Arsenal. And I do think you're a bit too slow. The one thing that annoys me about you're unrolling on the floor a bit too much. It doesn't make sense because a big reason as to why I don't mind you up front is because you go into midfield. He's a bit of an enigma. He's a bit of an enigma, but that's a tool that could be utilized across the season. DG, do you think once we get that initial trophy, the others will start pouring in? I hope it whets the appetite. But don't know, man. Like, if you were to win the Prem and all the champs this year, that's where I look at the club the most. Because now you've got there. You need to want to get there again. You've got every reason to get complacent now. So let's just get over the line first, man. Man said, "What are you telling me, Killy settled down from the weekend?" Yeah, look at this guy, man. Look at this guy. DG, what do you think about high intensity training when you don't play a high pressing system? Arsenal don't play a high pressing system. It's true. Arsenal don't play a high pressing system. KJ just on his trolling thing, man. I'm not taking it in. Oh, what happened there? Definitely not like Klopp. Klopp even changed his, but you can like the Prem's intensive 9 times out of 10. I don't know. I can't answer that because I think Arsenal do, and I am of the belief that you train the way you're gonna play. That being said, I know that I haven't seen Arsenal train, so I can't comment. But I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, training's too intense. The pitch is not this and that." I can't comment on that because I've not been there. Marino is a spare will just be a fill-in when needed, but not under this coach starting force him in. Unfortunately, I agree with Social there, man. I do agree with him there. Progressing this thing. Obviously, after Madueke's injury, we've had 12 goals scored by Arsenal forward since March. We've had 12 injuries to Arsenal players in 2025. It's not easy supporting this club. I did make a video about this earlier, people. I think it was about 5 minutes, but nonetheless, Arsenal's Noni Madueke facing around 2 months out with a knee injury. Arsenal winger Noni Madueke faces around 2 months out after sustaining a knee injury during Sunday's 1-1 draw with Manchester City. The 23-year-old started the fixture, but was substituted for the returning Bukayo Saka at halftime. And obviously, Arteta said he had an issue very early in the match. He wasn't well enough to continue. Thank the Lord, though, because it could be better. It could be a lot worse. There were some rumors on social media about an ACL. Apparently, scans on Monday showed Noni has avoided an ACL ligament injury, but the Englishman will likely miss the next chunk of Arsenal's fixtures, as well as at least one international window for his country. And yeah, he joins Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and being injured. And I only recognize 9 is Gyökeres. Who thinks we sign another striker in the summer next year and Gyökeres mix and blend? I don't know, people. I don't know. But we'll have to see. Big up Darren Moore, IC3 manager, and that he said Arsenal will face Vale to be at their best. Boy, do your thing, Darren Moore, man. I hate it had to be you, but we're mashing you up on the weekend. Well, on Wednesday. We'll get into the Gyökeres stuff. I just want to see if Arsenal have actually. Yay! I was getting nervous that I went live too early and the press conference comments weren't there, but we're there now, people. Let's see what he said. On Noni Madueke's injury, yes, it looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks. We don't know yet. We're probably going to have to scan him again next week, which, again, every day presents something new for his knee. We have to see how it develops, how much pain he's in, the level of swelling. Sometimes, I guess, it must just be down to your... Like, some footballers must have natural recovery rates than others. Like, one thing that could be good is his age. Like, 23, I guess... An injury at 19 and 23, you probably recover a bit faster than if you're, 29, 30. I don't know, man, but I don't want to hear this. But unfortunately, it's a reality. So, yeah, we're probably going to scan him next week. He felt something at the beginning of the match. He tried to carry on, and at halftime, he was too sore. Let's see on if it's weeks rather than months. Now, he said weeks. Can't take the words for gospel, and it could just be said in passing. We hope so. As I said, we need to scan him again to see the real extent of the injury, but it doesn't look too bad. Come on, Donny, man. You can soldier that. and we've just gone over. He was gutted, very disappointed to see because he was in such a good state. He looked like a real threat. He was getting some consistency, some flow into the team, and he looked like a real threat. So a big miss for us. Unfortunately, it's a reality. Hincapie, he picked up a little groin injury. So we'll have to assess him again in the next few days to see how he goes. There's been a change of load, and he didn't really have a pre-season after the surgery he had. We'll have to see in the next week or so how he is. So I don't want to jump the gun, but that tells me, going back to my lineup where I had Hincapie, then yeah, you're going to see Gabriel Magalhaes, and I wouldn't expect to see Hincapie against Newcastle. Interesting, though, because I never knew he had surgery. Granted, I'm not in the loop with Leverkusen, but you've played for your country, played against us, is what it is. On if there's a time frame for it, no, I think it'll be a short time. On Kai Havertz, with Kai, we know that it'll be months with him. I don't know if it can be weeks. You never know because this is Kai and he's a different specimen. We really miss him. Yeah, we do. Hopefully he will be back and back for a long time, long term as well. So it's very important to look after that knee. So far, he's progressing pretty well. And I would say to the players, I think it's a double-edged sword. I do think the players fight naturally. We all would. You fight tooth and nail to get back as soon as possible. I think a lot of these players come back a lot earlier than you imagine, but then they always suffer setbacks and things like that. So sometimes players, I think you might have to listen to your body because everyone who's played Sunday League, you know if you're injured, you know if you're going out there like I'm 99.9% fit, I can feel a little nickel. I know in my heart there's something there, but I'm gonna soldier it. Sometimes this can harm you. So yeah, and I guess that's something, and I guess the club could look into. I don't know if it's purely coincidental. Is it down to the boots? Is it the surface? Is it a training regime? I don't know, man. But injuries and massive injuries at our club, or mass injuries, seems a bit of a given, man. Seems a bit of a given. We all hope to see Max start tomorrow. I think he'll go with Saka though. Man said Kai's a different breed. Probably Saliba and Mascara on Wednesday. Saliba needs it, and no Hincapie, and we can't play Calla in so many games. But this guy trolls the Arteta outers in press conferences with little comments. Boy, what else have we got? On if the injuries are just down to bad luck. And we were just talking about that, so this might be on brand. We looked at everything. The one with Noni is bad luck. It's a very unfortunate incident. With Kai, it's similar. With White, it was similar. With Martin Odegaard, same. So it's just pure bad luck is what he's saying. Pardon me. Same as all the guys that have been out. Very similar. Because he damaged his shoulder twice during the same action on the floor, which is very unlikely to happen. With us, you got to expect anything. With Bukayo, it was more of a muscular injury with the hamstring. So that might be more on what you lot are doing with Saka. Maybe something to look more in depth. And we absolutely did that. We tried to keep that as low as possible. That's what we're trying to do. On giving different minutes to different players tomorrow. Yes, it's a lot of players that are going to take part in that, and they fully deserve the minutes. Kepa for sure is one of them. He's been with us. His attitude, the way he supports us in every aspect of his role in the best possible manner. All of this as well. They deserve more minutes than what they're getting. On if he's surprised by the reaction of our approach against City, I don't care. In football, surprised. I'm not surprised by anything because I don't read it. Yeah, you do. You do read certain things because you said, oh, nobody asked me about the midfield against Bilbao. So you definitely see one do things. But I do get told a little bit what the narrative is around it. If you tell me that is my main one, if I'm surprised, I'll be extremely surprised. With my knowledge and know-how and how I analyze a football match, it was impossible for anyone to predict a dominance from Arsenal throughout 96 minutes, true, because it never happened in 17 years of Pep Guardiola as manager. So if the narrative goes somewhere else and we talk about dominance, what about something else? How can you be dominant against such a team if you have a handbrake? Dominance and handbrake are two different words, but I accept everything. I will learn more to have a different vision. To be fair, the gaffer's giving as much as he takes in it. On Skelly, yes, and sometimes performances of other players as well. That's the only reason he's not playing. Calafri's taking his chance, run with it. When Lewis Skelly gets the chance, run with it. Give Arteta a headache. You can be a really good level, but someone could be at a different level, or it's just that I have the perception at the moment that it's better to play or start someone else in the team. It doesn't mean Miles has done something wrong at all. Completely the opposite. So when he has the chance, he has to show the level that he's at, elevate it, and make the decision even harder. Facts. On if it's a fluid situation regarding where Miles can play. Yes, fluid, especially because if you look at the amount of time that Miles defends and attacks in certain spaces, he's much more a midfielder than a fullback. Yep. But there are moments that he needs to be in that position, which he does need to brush up on a few things. He can absolutely do it. He's shown it. He's done it at the highest level in the Champions League. There's no question about that. 49, Lewis Skelly. On when Martin Odegaard might be back and if he needs surgery. No surgery. He's totally fine. He's already been training. It'll be a matter of days, I think. You never know with Arteta because we are led to believe Saka ain't going to play against City. So they could be involved against Port Vale. But if I take his words for gospel, Kinkapi and Odegaard are not involved against Port Vale. And fingers, toes, everything crossed that not just them, but players recover and we can go to Newcastle with some guys. On how to find the balance of getting Dalman minutes while being in the first team squad. Well, learning from him, probably first of all, preparing and having a very good understanding of his new situation and all the things that are different in his life. So we need to change his times. We need to change his education, probably his allocation and where he is with his family. His diet is different. His sleep patterns become different. The training load is different. The amount of information, pressure, and exposure is different. Yep, been thrust into the limelight at 15. So we have to manage a lot of factors into that. A lot of factors. You add a lot of minutes with very different teams as well. We need to be cautious, and that's why we're trying to do it in the best possible way to find that balance to keep Max as connected as possible to the first team because he's undoubtedly a player that can help the first team. Yep. I think he rates him a lot more than the other Haaland lads apart from Saka. But that's why we need the right mixture of minutes like he did the other day with the 23s and with England to have that exposure when he needs to play with us. He's ready to do that. On how older players reacted to getting nutmegged by him. At the beginning, they responded immediately. Kick him. That was the first one. And Max, to be fair, was excellent. Stood up and got to the next one. You can really take it personally. Of someone who was 14 last year, at some point when he was doing things to players and now everybody loves him. You just want to hug him, help him. He's such a nice boy as well. He's very much liked by everyone here. Mad Max, man. Hey, we bringing through some demons, man. Him, Lewis Skelly, Ranieri, can't forget Saka and the rest of them, whether they're out of club or not. Haaland's doing their thing. It brings responsibility to look after someone with that talent and make sure we just do what we have to do to make sure we've given the best chance to exploit his talent. That's all. On if Saka needs to be eased in. He needs minutes and he's demanding that as well. Well, Saka's getting 60, 70 minutes tomorrow. Obviously, when he's been out for a while, you just need to get in the rhythm. You need to get that confidence on the pitch and repeat actions and exposure. We will do that gradually because he's been out for a while. But I like what I saw the other day when he came on. So did I. On how he's looking to lose Martinelli, especially after City, he can in relation to playing on the right. And a lot of the runs that he makes sometimes as well from central positions in relation to what phase of play we are playing and what his starting position is. And actually, his impact has been really, really good for the team. Well, that goal kind of came from the right-hand side, or right-hand side sees the benefit. So I know we're talking about Martinelli left wing and striker. Could it be Martinelli's time to play on the right wing? I'm just being silly. You know, once Saka's back up to speed, that's our boy. On if he's frustrated by the narrative of not taking the handbrake off. No, I was surprised because when I saw everything and watching it back and all the stats, that's the problem, Gaffer. Stats, bro. I think now, man. Wenger, call your boy. Please call your boy. Because he's doing so well. He just needs to pattern up. Call your boy. I was surprised, but I respect everyone's opinion. And if I can see and learn something that I haven't seen, I'm more than happy to do so. So that's never an issue. I don't think that one player makes that. When you see the behavior of our team, if you're going to define that with one player playing one position, I understand a collective sport in a completely different way. He's a bit snappy when you question him on certain things. Then we played Ebbs on the right side. Could he play 90 minutes? That's the question I put to myself because none of you know the load that he can do. He's had enough. So it's easy to say he could have played with the start, maybe not, because he already played 2 games from the start and he's never played as an attacking right midfielder, as a right attacking midfielder. So that's another one, a new element for him. Crazy, innit? Crazy, innit? Big up our guy, Gyökeres. Arteta, free up the guy, man. Personally, I think there's, Gyökeres is never going to be pretty. His first touch isn't the best, but it isn't the worst. He's never going to be the most prettiest footballer. He's 27. We knew what we was getting. I think he's adapting. Man presses, chases, lost calls, working with scraps. Get my man in areas he's scoring goals. He's won the Gerd Muller Trophy. My striker, my striker. Previously known as Striker of the Year or Best Striker Award. The prize has been awarded since 2021 to the highest scoring player from previous seasons, taking into account goals from both European clubs and national teams. Now, I will say this. There's obviously, you play for certain clubs and us, you're playing against low blocks. The man's bagged for Coventry, bags for Sporting, bags for his country. I'm not saying he's going to bag to that abnormal rate, and he's just won the Gerd Muller Award, Gaffer. If he don't score goals, he has to ask himself some questions, and he does need to get used to the league. But it's on you, regardless if you think he's good or not. It's on you, because why you got to be the one that he's not scoring mad goals? I don't know, people. But yeah, man. And when asked on what creates a top striker, a lot of factors. Obviously, have to play in a team where you create chances, get chances, connect with the team. After that, is the desire to score is really important. Now, I don't think he's sending shots, but is he sending shots? And on the topic of Gyökeres, by this time tomorrow, There'll be content out. Well, to be fair, Gyökeres video to come out tomorrow. Kenny Ken video. Well, it's live stream with Kenny and DJ BFD's free. I'd obviously watch along for Port Vale, man. Make sure you lot are there, people. You know, it's pinned to the live chat. Even if you're not going to be there, smash a like, people. We need you lot, man. It's you lot that press the hype button on videos and you lot that smash the like. You lot make the algorithm go mad. Then I'm going mad because I don't even know where we was. Tab police, look away. Oh, yeah, that's where we was. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. On a serious note, though, ex-Arsenal starlet Billy Vinger in induced coma after suffering significant brain injury in game as club post update. Thoughts are with him. Hopefully he makes a speedy recovery, but you would have seen that. That's absolutely horrible, man. Apparently, Nuno Tavares faces a fine from his new club after walking out during Rome derby following halftime substitution. Damn. And what player was it? There was an Italian ex-player that criticized the manager that signed him and said he can't be really good if Arsenal let you have him for 4 million odd quid. Man left at half time. Horrible attitude, you do. Horrible. Again, I don't really want to get into rumors and whatnot, but apparently Arsenal are pushing to finalize a new contract with William Saliba as they look to fend off significant interest from Real Madrid. To be fair, there's 3 French centre halves linked with Real Madrid: William Saliba, Upamecano, and Konate. And I think Upamecano and Konate's deals run out next year. But now in Real Madrid, they're greedy. Saliba's the crown jewel of them all. He's apparently Florentino Perez's dream target for 2026. There were some rumors, people, that his agent requested a meeting with Arsenal to get a new deal hashed out. There's also rumors that Berta's confident of confirming his future, and also Bukayo Saka's. We all know Saliba's current deal in North London is due to expire in 2027. The club are determined to agree fresh terms before he enters the final year of his deal. So yeah, man. And apparently Arteta is involved. Arsenal pushing to finalize a 5-year deal. Honestly, if I'm Saliba, I'm trying to sign a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal with the option of a 4th. I'm doing the same if I'm Saka, purely because every 18 months, more P's. So yeah, 50% salary increase. To be fair, Saka and him, I wish we had Salah as well, play him up front. Saliba and Saka, they should be our highest earners and they should be pushing for that. And I know it's not fair and they all sign deals at different rates, but genuinely, if I'm Saka and Saliba, Jesus gets paid how much? Kai Havertz gets paid how much? Odegaard's on what? Gyökeres is on what? Am I not at the very least on par in terms of squad importance? Am I not 2 of the probably better players? I want my money, bro. Simple as that. So yeah, Real Madrid links are never gonna go away. Is there anything new here? We'll have to see. Real Madrid are piling on pressure on Arsenal to obviously get Saliba. Apparently, they had scouts watching him against City on Sunday. How do you know? They just want to see one of the biggest clashes in the Premier League. Apparently, Arsenal have joined Chelsea in the race to sign Juventus wonder kid Kylian Yildiz next year. Love him, great player. Done it in the Champions League the other week. We're always linked with Donny. And we're going to get linked with Yildiz next year, Nico Williams next year, Rodrigo next year. Aren't they saying they want about 80 odd million quid? But for what it's worth, apparently Arsenal are eager to compete for the 20-year-old signature. United have also been named as possible suitors, despite signing Cunha and Mbeumo. He's likely to stay at Juventus. He has 4 years remaining on his deal, people. He's got 6 goal contributions in 5. He's so unlucky that Arda Güler is also Turkish, because you'd get gassed up a lot more, in my opinion. So yeah, Real Madrid were in attendance. They watched him. That's good for them, man. Big up Christian Mascara, man. Big up Christian Mascara. Hope to see you get some minutes. What's this? TBR Football understands that both Arsenal and Liverpool have been informed about Vinicius Junior's uncertain future at Real Madrid. Real Madrid prepared to sell Vinicius if he doesn't sign a new deal. So that's where it's coming from. If he doesn't sign one by next summer, have 12 months left on his deal. Come on. Would love him at the club, but yeah, apparently Chelsea and City have been told that Vinicius could be open to a move to the Premier League if such an opportunity arose. Arsenal and Liverpool have been informed about the ongoing situation, as have PSG and Bayern Munich. I'm so sure, like, different reasons, but that was probably said about Rodrigo all summer. Julian Alvarez is considering leaving Atletico Madrid next summer, and you would have seen when he got subbed by Simeone, he got vexed. I can't lie, I wanted him when he was at City. I say we bring him. Liverpool, that's greedy, man. You don't need Julian Alvarez as well. To be fair, Barcelona would be a mad move for him, and you could see that happening. Harry Kane has a clause in his contract which means he could leave Bayern for 57 million next summer. Has Kane got the bollocks to do a Sol Campbell? Of course not, but once a goon, always a goon. Come home, man. And again, we're getting linked with the same things. Arsenal are showing interest in Real Sociedad forward Kubo. However, they're not willing to trigger the winger's 52 million release clause. Dead that, man. Pardon me, do you not agree with Roy Keane? Roy Keane believes this current Arsenal squad are capable of winning the Premier League this season. Over the last few years, every time I've seen City and Arsenal in terms of winning the league, I've never felt Arsenal had enough. They've never had enough strength in depth. They've obviously lacked that striker. But I look at Arsenal's group of players now and think they have the players capable of winning the Premier League. I mean, seasonal winner, club legend, footballing legend like Roy Keane saying that. And he's a very critical man. There's got to be some proof to that. Is there anything else? Because we've gone over what Gyökeres, the injuries, the press conference. Big up you lot, man. It's always a pleasure to be here with you lot. And the saddest thing is, Noni out for 6 to 8 weeks. Madness. And to be fair, I think we're missing something else. I actually think we're missing something. Yeah, Sammy Mokbel provided some level of an update. Apparently, on Madueke, sources are indicating medics are waiting for the swelling to subside before making a definitive diagnosis on the injury. But it's understood Madueke will be sidelined for a minimum of 6 weeks. Throughout that timescale is thought to be the best case scenario. Now, I want to know when that happened. Because was it one where because for all I know, he could have got that very early in the game, adrenaline, he kept going. It's too much now. But I'm sure we had our first shot on target in like the 30-odd minute. I'm sure he had an effort on target in the 45th. I could be lying. I need to see that instant. Could he have done it there? Like, when did this happen? I don't know, people. But yeah, man. If the initial prognosis is confirmed, Madueke will not return to action until November at the earliest, ruling him out of a clutch of key domestic and European games. And obviously, he's going to be missing out for England against Serbia and Albania in the World Cup qualifiers, and could also miss out on Wales and Latvia. Arsenal face Sunderland on the 8th of November in the Premier League. If Madueke is unavailable for that game in the international break, he could return for the North London derby versus Spurs on the 23rd. Crazy works. So I guess we'll never know. Where's that Gyökeres post? We need to keep that up there, man. Oi, DG, what do you think about this film director brother joining the board? Obviously not a hot topic, but film directors on the board, I don't know how to feel about it. Clearly, just I'm sure he's got skills, but like that's his brethren, isn't it? Clearly, he's part of that high society, really. Keen spot on. We should be winning a title or a big cup given the quality of this current squad. Vinny, I can see at City. I don't know why, but I can. We need a left winger, though. Oh, I don't believe that. I more believe Rodrigo hype than Vinicius, innit? Vinicius is gonna get his new deal, man. Yeah. Nuno, we came a long way. Gyökeres is not shy. I'm sure he told everyone they need to give him the ball. It's Gyökeres for a reason. Of course, he was sending shots. 3 goals in 5 games, 7 shots in the Premier League. And he's worked with scraps. When you analyze his 3 goals, happy with what Eze set him up for. Want to see that on a regular basis for Gyökeres. Leeds, from an individual point of view, I'm great to see that. But if we're relying on Gyökeres to do that, at times we're in trouble, and there was a lot of open space. Obviously, we got a penalty and he scored. After that, it's not sustainable what we're doing. But he is a Gerd Muller award winner. Arteta was peed off with the handbrake question. He did his best not to show the anger. I watched the interview. He's got a right to be peed off. But every now and again, the mask slips and he gets, you can see he's vexed. Told you I did my shoulder falling down the stairs early in the year. It was fine after 2 weeks. Tired of this manager. Summer at least will have someone new. Calla had injury issues before he brought him in. It's not bad luck. Once, twice is a coincidence. 5 is a recurring issue. But I wouldn't play Gabriel tomorrow, Mascara and Saliba. I hear it, I hear it. I actually hear it. With a goal-scoring record like his last season, I want to see hat-tricks every game. That's not going to happen at Arsenal, but he should be scoring goals. Like, everyone that's got common sense, he's not going to bag to the level he was for a variety of reasons, which UK, this as well, that he was doing that in Portugal. But man should be scoring goals, bro. Like I said, if you bagged for Coventry, you bagged for Portugal, you bagged for Coventry, you bagged in Portugal Sporting, you bagged for your country. And if you don't bag here, bear it in mind, whether we got Gyökeres, Isak would score more goals because he's better in individual brilliance. But bearing in mind, I said in the summer, it doesn't matter if you get Isak, Ollie Watkins, Gyökeres, this one. I don't think it's as white and black as you slap a striker and we've got creative issues. It's on you, Gaffer. If Gyökeres don't bang, it's on you. If Eze don't bang, it's on you. If Zubameni don't bang, it's on you. If we don't win a trophy, it's on you. I genuinely believe that. Now, obviously, those of you that follow this channel, you know what I'm getting at. People are going to be deliberately obtuse, but they're not who I make content for. So it is what it is in that regards, man. So yeah, man. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. But you got the tools now, man. You got the tools now. Just utilize them. It's as simple as that. Just utilize them now, Gaffer, man. Please. You're going to have to find balance. Sometimes you're going to get it wrong. Sometimes you're going to make subs and it's going to bang and it's not. Everyone's going to make mistakes. The players, everybody. But if we're just right more times than we're wrong, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? That's just me, man. Gyökeres needs better service, but he also needs to do a little more. It's true. I guess you could do a little more. To be fair, I do think he's adapted / you are adapted. This is 5 games into you playing at the highest level in European football. But I think Gyökeres is doing more than the club. Like, or Arteta, I think you need to help him, really. Yeah, the speed of the league, the pace of the league, the opposition, getting to know your teammates, all of that. But I've seen enough with your link-up play. I've seen enough to see you putting yourself about. No one's ever looked at Gyökeres and thought you're the guy that's going to 9 times out of 10 make something out of nothing. Of course, a couple of his goals in Portugal he hasn't. He's done that against Leeds and we need him to do that. Just put a plate in front of him, let the man eat. That's where I'm at with it. Just that's it. And for me, he's not the prettiest. Clearly, he runs a bit funny and the touch isn't the best, but I think he's a decent player. You bought a 27-year-old. You know there's not going to be too much change. What's going on with Ben White? Brothers turning to Tommy. To be fair, he's on the bench. He's on the bench in the last game. Clearly been struggling in pre-season with fitness. And I think away from us just needing depth anyways, I think with the players that are at this club that had injuries last season or, played a lot of minutes, I think that gave us a double reason to go get 8 players. So, yeah, man. I lied, though. I ain't seen that Love Island brother in time. You'll see him tomorrow, man. You'll see him tomorrow. Hopefully, anyways. 2 wins this week. You heard it here first. 4-0 against Newcastle. 2-0. And we're moving to Port Vale. 4-1 tomorrow. 3-0 Sunday. Ask me on Friday, Saturday. Right now, I'm all right. We could have done with him at the weekend. I hear it. On that note, though, man, we've been here for 90 minutes. Gonna go and try and finish off this Gyökeres video, people. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be watching Port Vale against Arsenal. Appreciative to you lot that are tuned in. If you haven't liked, commented, and subscribed, yeah, man, I don't know what you're doing. But on that note, I'm out. Big up you lot. You lot stay safe, stay blessed. We'll link up again before you know it. Peace.